Next up, we want to install the Weaviate TypeScript client. So we'll navigate back to our terminal. We'll stop our project and install the Weaviate client and .env dependency with npm install Weaviate client.env. With those installed, we'll restart our project with npm run dev and open VS Code. In VS Code, we'll close all of these and create a new file in utils called import.ts. In import.ts, we want to initialize a connection to Weaviate. We'll start by importing Weaviate from Weaviate client, and then we'll import .env/config. We'll then initialize a variable called client, and we'll have this of type Weaviate client or null, and initialize the value to null. We'll then create an async function to initialize our client called init client, and in this function we'll run a check if our client exists or not, and then initialize our connection to Weaviate cloud by saying client is equal to await Weaviate dot connect to Weaviate cloud. We'll use the helper function and pass in our environment variables. Before we can pass these on, we need to create a new .env file. We have an env.example file, and so we can see we need our Weaviate host URL, our Weaviate admin, our OpenAI API key, as well as a Cohere API key. I'll copy this file into .env and put the actual values. Now that I have my .env, we'll go ahead and pass process.env.weaviate host URL as the first parameter, and second, we'll pass in our auth credentials as new Weaviate.API key and pass in our admin key. Say Weaviate admin key, and then we'll save. Now that we have this client initialization, we want to return our client so we can actually use it in other parts of our application. And just above, we want to create a variable called ready and check if our client connection is actually ready. So client.isReady, and this returns a boolean. We'll then console log whether or not our client is ready to see if our connection was successful. And so we'll say client is ready and pass in ready and save. At the bottom of our file, we'll call init client, and what we should see is client is ready, true, when we run our code. We'll go back into our terminal to actually run this file. So we'll stop our project. After clearing our terminal, we'll run npx tsx utils/import.ts to actually run our project. And here we see client is ready, true, which means we have initialized a connection to our Weaviate client.